Alright, now we're going to talk about the Wheel of Fate Quest 2. This one was definitely a lot more difficult than Quest 1 for me. But yeah, we're just going to do the same thing, take it fight by fight, show off what I think needs to be shown for how I took the quest. And we're going to start off against Gore here, and I'm using Wong. So for Wong, we're kind of going to do a basic Wong rotation at the start, where I build up all 9 of his spells, and then we're going to drop special 2s when we need to refresh them. But another thing we're going to be doing in this fight is using the SP3 with Wong. That's going to let me Fate Seal Gore and going to help prevent some of the massive regen he has. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to do this fight just by trying to outdamage the healing, because Wong's damage is insane and Gore's regen is even more insane. So we're going to be using that SP3 Fate Seal at some points in the fight. Just to lock down that regen he has for about 12 seconds. And because I think it's a Fate Seal that's 3 seconds plus 1 second per amount of spells you have. So anyway, yeah, but I'm going to show off some of the ramp first, and then I'm going to cut the clip to when we start going for the special 3s and stuff. So anyway, I usually just do yellow, green, blue. I don't really know if there's a better way to do it, but that's just how I did. And then I get all my spells up here. After I threw my special 1 into his block, but luckily he didn't actually try to counter me, like when I cut that clip. And then I'm going to go for my special 3 after this special 2, I believe. And as you can see, the damage on the special 2 is pretty nuts, but his regen is also pretty nuts. So anyway, heavy attack, launch the special 3, Fate Seal him so he can't regen for a little while. And then let's just try to build our power back to the special 2, which is really easy because of Mystic Dispersion. And then I cut the clip again, special 3 thrown. He's at 19% now, and I want to ideally kill him before he can get another regen. This SP2 absolutely does a crap ton of damage, and then I can follow up with another one right there. It's unblockable, and then Gore is dead. That fight took about 5 minutes. And now we move on to fight Dazzler with Jean. So this fight is pretty good with Jean. When she has a narrow on the opponent, she can't miss, so Dazzler's Dazzling Dash doesn't matter there. And we're just going to be doing the normal Jean stuff where I do a bunch of special 1s and then special 2s and repeat that. So heavy attack there, drop the special 1, place 10 Neros, and then yeah, just be doing a bunch of that. Pretty much the whole fight, just alternating the special 1 and special 2. I am going to try to remove her power gain charges sometimes. I don't always worry about it though, because it's not the biggest deal. Sometimes I'm knocking her down frequently because I want to get her to drop a bunch of special 1s sometimes, because I wouldn't mind her getting a bunch of power back to the special 1 if it means I can just push her there immediately. It's a good way to get openings in the fight, just to counter the special 1. And then I still don't want her to go to special 2, of course, so I'm going to try to be careful of that. But yeah, we're getting rid of all these Neuro Shocks, locking them back in as Psionic Charges, and then those Psionic Charges will convert into Neuro Shocks there. So now I have 18 up, so that's cool. And then I'm going to go for a heavy attack, not heavy attack. I counter her special 1 with my heavy attack most of the time, but getting the spacing was a little weird for me for some reason, so sometimes I don't do it. Like here I get it, I had to light attack into it and stuff, and I get an opening right there. I drop my special 2 here, and it does a nice chunk of burst damage. And then Dazzler's going to drop her special 1 here. Purify more Neuros, get the Psionic Charges on me, same exact rotation. Daunted's up, which is going to help me do a little bit more damage on the special 1. And then I drop it. She's going to be at 20 of the Neuroshocks now. And then I block her special 2. My force field makes me take barely any damage from it. Get rooted, but the force field absolutely came in clutch there, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to go for a heavy attack here. That's going to let me drop my special 2 cheaper. And then the charge here, I have 5 of my Psionic and then 22 Neuroshocks, so this special 2 is going to be pretty chunky, and it does some nice damage. So cut the clip here to when she's about to die, and then that is Jean Grey soloing the EOP, or not EOP, I'm sorry, WOF, Wheel of Fate, Dazzler. Alright, now we're going to be taking Medusa against this Lady Deathstrike. And I found it best for this fight with Medusa to get the Armor Shatter up. And then after the Armor Shatter is up, we're going to be dropping Special 2s. And if I need to get the Armor Shatter back, we just use the SP1. The SP2s were definitely the most damaging special in this fight. I tested with SP3s, and it still didn't feel as good as the Special 2 when you get some crits on it. So anyway, you want to have her armor broken, of course, but you can't armor break her during her special. So, I mean, like, champs who would armor break just on the special exclusively aren't going to work here. Like, I tried Iron Man before, but her regen kicks in before the armor break happens, and she's immune to it when she's regenning. So we have to use armor break on basic attacks, basically, to lock in the actual armor break, keep her regen gone, and Medusa has a pretty easy time of doing that, obviously because of her mediums inflicting armor break all the time. So here I'm going to go for another special 1, sidestep into a combo to get my armor shatter up, and now I just want to build back to another special 2. I just did a bunch of that, and then I'm going to cut the clip here to when she dies with my special 1 right here. And then that's Lady Deathstrike. It was a really long fight, honestly, but it's not a very threatening one. It's just really time consuming. So anyway, now this is Enchantress with my rank 1 Ant-Man. I forgot to give her relic too. This was one of the most miserable experiences of all time. I used about 6 or 7 revives on this, maybe more. And mainly because I didn't know how to play Ant-Man until like halfway through the fight when I started asking people. Basically what you want to do is place fatigues with your special 1. Ideally you get 12 fatigues, and then you drop a special 2, make them turn into poisons, and then she's going to be taking poison damage. I didn't know a lot of that from my first revives, and it's still a miserable fight. Yeah, I have to nail every special 1 next, which I'm decent at, but not perfect at. And then I remove her spells there. But if I had a relic, this would help a lot. I just forgot about it. Make sure to put relics on before you swap your champs in, guys. So anyway, the 11 poisons are doing 3k damage per tick, which is, you know, decent, I guess, with a rank 1 boosted. And then I cut the clip there because it's not worth showing. I just died a lot. But it was probably like 6 or 7 revives. Now we're going to go fight Thor Ragnarok with my crossbones. I'm not a very good crossbones player, but I do have a rank 2 bones, and I figured he'd be the best for this fight. It turned out to be like, yeah, he probably is. Like, I had a really good run where I did like 80% of his health, and I think it's this one. And then like 2 bad runs where I barely did any damage before I died. It's just how the fight kind of goes sometimes. Because if Thor Ragnarok just doesn't want to drop a special 2 or special 1 before he power gains a special 3, you're a bit screwed. So anyway, gotta work on my heavy counters and getting his special attacks down, and I did a pretty good job of it, I think. It was actually better that my heavy whiffed there because he had brace, and then I refreshed my furies there, and then I cut the clip again. Heavy attack here. I have 29 furies now. I definitely want to use a special 3 in the fight, get the big precision. I did that a couple times. Special 3 itself does pretty good damage, and then here he special intercepts me. Like, this is one of the most blatant special intercepts I've ever seen, and it kills me. So, yeah, that kind of sucked, but whatever. I think he's gonna die right here. I'm gonna drop the special 2, and even with brace, it's going to kill him on the last hit before brace can screw me over. So yeah, that's Thor Ragnarok. Crossbones does a pretty good job. If I was a better Crossbones player, I could have soloed, but anyway, now we're going to fight Arcade with Serpent. Very, very basic Arcade fight with Serpent here. The nodes do make Arcade a bit annoying because he's stun immune. And also, if you use a heavy attack, which you want to be doing to remove his charges sometimes, because he can't auto-block them, it's annoying because you can't use a heavy attack within 8 seconds of another heavy attack. So you can't do 2 heavy attacks within 8 seconds, or else you're going to get faltered. Which Serpent actually doesn't mind because he has True Focus after he drops a special attack. So I guess that's not a big deal to him. On my first run I used Scream, who doesn't have any way to counter miss, and it was much more annoying, but here it's kind of just fine. I'm baiting Arcade special 1, then I'm going to drop my special 3 with Serpent. I always do a special 3 with Serpent in long fights just to start, because I end up ramping faster from it. And then I don't use a special 3 after this. It's just a mix of special 1s and special 2s. Ideally special 1s if I can do it, but if I power gain to a special 2, it's not a big deal. And then, yeah, we just punch him a lot. I'm going to cut the clip in just a minute. Ignore me not playing Serpent properly and dropping an unblockable special 1 to his block. I actually do it correctly for the rest of the fight. I just turned my brain off for a second there. That was a bit annoying, but it's going to be fine. I can heavy attack and stuff, and like I said, he can't miss, so I can heavy attack as many times as I need to. Special 2 there, does some decent burst damage. He had some more armor rating because of his arcade token, making me do more damage. And then special 1, cold snaps, almost finish him off, get a stand-up intercept, and then he dies. So that was a 4.5 minute fight solo, or a little bit more than 4.5 minutes. And now we move on to fight leader. This is a kind of an annoying fight, mainly just because I'm bad. Like, this is 100% soloable, but I just messed up a lot. I got my healing reversed a lot because I wasn't playing well with the Petrifies and Spectres. So this is going to be 1 revive, but it's fine. Also, somehow not being able to dex, I have a special 1. I got better at that as the fight went on, but a lot of my first death is going to come because I can't dex a special 1 early on, and then I just get better at it on the second attempt. I'm like, wait, why couldn't I do that the first attempt? That would have been so much more helpful. But we just kind of spam SP2s in this fight. I don't ever use Bullseye's special 1 here. I just kind of evade into the special 2. And then, yeah, that was a lot of block damage. The Disorients just kind of wiped my health out. So that's what's going to partially cause me to die, because my health is just going to be so low for the rest of the fight. Anyway, it's definitely annoying. But I'm going to go for an evade into a special 2 here in just a second, baiting his special 1. I want him to be dropping special 1s if I can help it. It just, helps if I can actually dex them, and I did a good job there. But I also, I know you can just outrange the attack pretty well, but I didn't want to do it every time because of close encounters. I kind of wanted to do a close-up dex if I could help it, like I did there, and then messed it up and died. So, anyway, it's going to be 1 revive, though. This is the final 5% of his health, and I'm very healthy. Once I got the hang of the fight, it was pretty easy. It just took me a little while to actually do that. So anyway, I tried not to use a lot of mediums. Light attacks with Bullseye too, because I didn't want to get debuffs on me. And then I kind of skill issued with the heavy evade there, but he goes down. So, alright, now we're going to move on and use Dazzler for this Bullseye here. This was a really annoying fight, and I didn't realize how annoying it was going to be. I spent 3 revives on this one. I can't full dex Bullseye's special 1. I'm just not able to do it, so I do have to deal with that. If you can full dex Bullseye's special 1, you're going to be having a lot better time than I am. Anyway, I drop a special 1 here. I'm going to try to bait his heavy, and then he immediately drops it, which is great. And then I get the pursuit up. My Dazzler is SIG 120, so my pursuit is pretty long, but it's not as long as it could be. The higher the SIG Dazzler, the easier time you're going to have for Bullseye. And I use Dazzler for Bullseye in BGs sometimes. It's not the greatest matchup in the world if you have her at the SIG level I do. If you have her SIG 200, you're kind of chilling, but I drop my special 2, get pretty terrible crit RNG. I only get 1 hit to crits. That wasn't guaranteed to crit anyway. And then the special 2s after that felt a little better. But here, I'm just going to take a crap ton of block damage, and I'm almost just screwed over at this point, because, well, that was my fault. I thought I had a Dazzling Dash. I didn't have the distance, though. And then here, I think this is where I'm going to actually be able to kill him. Go for an intercept there, have the pursuit up, and then I can heavy attack, or just drop the special 2, and then he goes down. So, 3 revives. I didn't show every death there, but anyway. Move on to fight Torch now. I'm going to use my rank 2 Overseer for this one. He does a great job, and I am going to be able to solo this fight. Basically with Overseer, you just have to do as many knockdowns as needed to make sure he never goes debuff immune. And then if you can keep him never going debuff immune, you're kind of chilling. I actually have I have very small health right now because I messed up a lot early on in the fight. But from this point forward, it's going to be pretty chill. And Overseer also has some regen too, which is going to help me stay topped up. But when it comes to dealing with the energy attacks, Overseer only has a 1-hit heavy attack, so you're not giving him too many smolders. When you have to switch the damaging node, I want to be in physical, of course, but I have to switch to energy with my heavy attack if I want to remove the protection, and then I just have to do that again to go back into physical. But here's going to be a really nice damage cycle. I get the physical vulnerability up from the special 3, and I'm doing 13k light attack burst now, so like almost 18k light attack damage in total, which is really, really good. Overseer's really good damage if, once you get him a little bit ramped up. So he's a very underrated champ for sure. But yeah, at this point I'm dexing the special 1, going for the counter and getting retaliation damage and stuff. Drop my special 2 here to remove the debuff immunity passive that would start happening. And then I think at one point in the fight, I don't actually show it in the clip, but he was going to go debuff immune, and then it was like during Torch's special. So these special concussions actually failed it, which was really, really funny. But anyway, he goes down there, and that is a 7-minute solo, I think, or close to that. So, alright, now we're going to use Chavez versus Serpent. This is as basic as a fight as it gets. It's just your average Chavez versus Serpent Battlegrounds fight, except he has like 6 times the amount of health, so it takes a lot longer. But that's fine. Chavez has energy resist and regen. She can survive in this fight for a really long time. So I'm just going to kind of show off the basic, here's how you use Chavez for a Serpent kind of thing. Heavy attack here, and then I actually get power drain because I'm bad, but that's fine. I'm going to get back to a special 2 pretty fast. And I want to be dropping specials frequently, keeping his call force down, mainly because of their resistance up. I really don't want him to have. And then special 2 there. It does okay damage, and that's kind of just, you're just going to have okay damage like the whole fight. It's really hard to do good damage with Chavez in this because Serpent just is annoying. And that was like 7 minutes, but we never died, so I'll take it. But speaking of never died, I dropped like 5 deaths in this spiral fight. I was just having a horrible time using Luke for this spiral. His concussion doesn't fail her dancing blades from triggering, which was really annoying. I was hoping that it would. And Luke really wants to use light attacks, so the fact that he can't use a second light kind of sucks, unless she is under the effect of a stun, but then the unblockable exists, so you can concussion the unblockable, but I was just having a rough time overall. This fight can be soloed. I don't know. I was, again, having a rough time. I didn't figure out the flow of the fight very well, and I needed to be hitting her when she was stunned if I wanted to use a second light attack. I think at this point as well, I was just like so frustrated and wanted this quest to be over with, that I wasn't playing like really well. So like just doing a second light attack when she wasn't stunned, when I know it's gonna stun me, was just part of that frustration. So anyway, this was like the best run I had. I actually like just stopped recording half the fight because I was so frustrated. And yeah, so I don't have the whole thing where I die a lot, because I just didn't record at all. But anyway, hopefully you can see like what you're supposed to do. You kind of just get the concussions up, and then you can parry, do your light attacks when she's stunned, and then she won't be unblockable because you can fail it with the concussion. But yeah, you can't fail the stun immunity node. You can fail the falter though. Like there's a bunch of stuff that you can fail and a bunch of stuff you can't fail. It's weird. And then I believe I die right here because I tried to dex a special 2 and failed. So anyway, after that we're gonna use Phoenix for this dust fight. This one, it works really well, and I should have soloed, but I didn't know about something in the fight. Where basically what's going to happen is I'm going to start getting nullified when I charge my heavy attack to place a stun, and I didn't realize that until like pretty far into the fight. And I was like, why do I not have a bunch of special echoes? Because I keep nullifying them off myself when I charge my heavy. So what you're supposed to do is like not do a bunch of heavy charges, and you just want to do your special 1s and get to the special 2 for your aura. That's when you're going to be placing the incinerates. And I'm just going to skill issue and die when she's at like 67% health. But then my second attempt's going to go very well because I actually know how to do the fight. And then special 1 here. And then I cut the clip to me eating a special 2 and dying. But here on the second attempt, she's at 71%, and I'm going to solo from here because I have a good strategy now. I'm just going to do a bunch of the special 2s. I want to get the initial 10 incinerates up so I get the max amount of furies. And then, yeah, drop my special 1 here. And then I'm going to do the heavy into it, which, you know, it's fine. It kind of gave her unblockable, so I shouldn't have done that, but it's okay. We eat it anyway, and we're fine. So here, I'm going to go for another special 1 that's going to push me at 2 bars, and then we get some auras going, so now I can do some incinerates. And then I'm going to drop a special 2 there with 3 special echo, and that's exactly what I need to do to get my 9 auras going. And at this point, dust is just going to start melting. Once I get my Phoenix Force charges ramping up faster, we're just going to be big chillin'. I'm going to eat another SP2, but that's okay. And then I eat a combo, but it's still okay. Dust wasn't critting me a lot when she hit me, which is definitely helpful. Because I just kind of expect that the defender's going to crit me a lot when I get hit, but she wasn't doing that too often in the fight. So, anyway, I do have some inequity coming from Incinerates as well, reducing her attack, but either way, she's about to die here. So I'm going to go for an intercept right there, and then she's just melting from the Incinerates when I'm close to her and stuff. So last aura is all I need to finish her off. Heavy attack kills her, and then we move on to the last fight, which is Beta Ray Bill versus Deathless Thanos. And holy crap, this was one of the most miserable experiences ever. Even more miserable than Ant-Man versus Enchantress. And that's mainly because my phone doesn't really let me play Bill. And I'm not joking. I don't usually blame stuff on devices a lot, but I physically cannot play Bill with my phone for some reason. Because ever since I got my brand new phone, like 3 months ago, I have been completely unable to special cancel for my heavy attack. Meaning, I can't charge my heavy and release into a special attack, because I'm spamming the special button during the heavy charge, and it does nothing. I don't know why, but it's only been on my new phone, because my old phone never had this issue. But Bill is actually very good for this fight. You have to manage the inverted controls, but you have grit to deal with his unstoppable. And there is what I'm talking about. Like, I know then a second time, I know I'm not skill issuing there, because I know, like, I will spam that special button even before he starts dashing other times, and it just won't work. So here's just a fun little death montage of me screwing up against Thanos. A lot of these attempts I didn't heal, because I was just, like, very frustrated and stuff, and I should have healed, but I didn't. But here, I'm gonna eat heavy attack. And this wasn't all the deaths. Like, I died like 10 times to this fight. But I didn't record all of them, because kind of like the, there it worked. Like, I don't know. It's so weird. Like, sometimes it actually does work. And then oftentimes I'm just mashing my special button and it doesn't activate. But anyway, I didn't record every death, similar to one of the other fights. I don't remember which one. I think it was the Enchantress fight and the Bullseye fight. I didn't record every death. Anyway, yeah, I think I actually do solo him from here, because, like, once I drop my special 2, I might not have to actually charge my heavy into another special 2, so I don't have to worry about not being able to drop a special there. Anyway, but yeah, the rest of this fight is going to go pretty fine, so that's cool. And Bill is good for this fight. Don't let anyone say that Bill is bad for this. I, in hindsight, would use Moondragon, mainly because of my phone issue, and Inverted Controls Immune is helpful, but she has a harder time dealing with the Unstoppable than Thanos does, especially when Moondragon really wants to play aggressive, and Bill can play passive if he needs to. But anyway, yeah, Bill is definitely very good for this fight. You just have to, like, be good at it. So I dropped the special 1 there, and he dies. And that is my quest 2. So I'm going to do quest 3, like, right after recording this, and then I'll have the quest 3 video out tomorrow, so hopefully that won't be too much pain. But thank you guys so much for watching this one. I hope it was helpful for you, for your runs, and I will see you in the next one.